22 years. 22 years of what everyone around them called a perfect marriage. James Williams still had no idea. That morning, he gave his wife diamond earrings to celebrate their wedding anniversary. He told her she was the most beautiful woman in his life. He believed their life together was built on honesty, love, and trust. But Nicole Williams knew the truth. She had spent years becoming the woman she was, and she knew James would never understand what that happiness had truly cost her. The discovery. On May 25, 2024, the body of 42-year-old Nicole Michelle Williams was found inside her home on Barber Lane in Austin, Texas. She was discovered on what should have been one of the happiest days of her life, the 22nd anniversary of her wedding. The investigation would later reveal a motive that shocked the state of Texas and sparked national debate. Nicole's husband had recently learned about her transgender past, and investigators believe the murder occurred during a moment of emotional collapse. The case quickly became one of the most discussed gender identity-related crimes in Texas history. A neighbor's concern. Nicole's body was discovered by Diana Jackson, a 56-year-old woman who had lived across the street from the Williams family for over a decade. Diana knew the couple's daily routine well. Every morning at exactly 7 a.m., Nicole walked her Labrador, Max. But on that Sunday morning, Nicole never appeared. What troubled Diana even more was that the front door of the Williams house was slightly open, and James's car was missing from the driveway, something that never happened on weekends. Max was whining restlessly in the yard. Concerned, Diana approached the house, knocked on the door, and called out Nicole's name. There was no response. A strange smell lingered in the air. Diana stepped inside. Upstairs, in the bedroom, she found Nicole lying face down on the floor near the bed. She was wearing a silk nightgown. Her long black hair partially covered her face. Her skin looked pale and lifeless. Diana ran out of the house and immediately called emergency services. Police arrive. The Austin Police Department received the call shortly after 8:20 a.m. The first officers secured the scene, followed by Detective Andrea Wilson, a veteran homicide investigator with nearly 2 decades of experience. There were no signs of forced entry. The first floor appeared mostly normal, except for scattered documents and a fallen lamp. The kitchen looked as if a romantic dinner had been prepared the night before. Candles, rose petals, expensive dishes left untouched. Upstairs, the bedroom told a different story. Furniture had been moved, bedding was torn off the bed, personal items were scattered everywhere. There had been a struggle. Cause of death. Medical examiner Patricia Brown conducted an initial examination. There were no visible stab wounds or gunshot injuries, but faint marks around Nicole's neck told a darker story. Her face had a bluish tint, a classic sign of asphyxiation. The estimated time of death was between midnight and 4 a.m. Nicole had been strangled. Where was James Williams? Detectives immediately noticed one critical detail. Nicole's husband was gone. James's clothes, travel bag, sneakers, and jacket were missing. His phone was gone, but his wallet and house keys were left behind. Security cameras from nearby houses later showed James's dark blue Lexus leaving the driveway just after 2 a.m., headlights turned off. Neighbors reported hearing a heated argument late that night, shouting, fear in Nicole's voice, sounds of objects falling. James had fled. A marriage everyone admired. To the outside world, the Williams family was perfect. Nicole worked as a senior systems analyst, respected and admired by colleagues. James was a regional manager at a logistics company, earning 6 figures. They traveled often, hosted dinner parties, never argued in public. Financial records showed no stress. Their bank account was healthy. Their home was nearly paid off. There was no obvious reason for murder, until detectives found something unusual. The hidden past. In the living room, detectives discovered old medical records dating back to the late 1990s. Among them was a plastic surgery certificate from Dallas. The patient name, Nicholas Johnson, later corrected to Nicole Williams. The documents revealed reconstructive surgery consistent with gender transition procedures. Detectives realized the truth Nicole had kept hidden for over 2 decades, and evidence suggested James had recently discovered it. The final night. That evening, Nicole and James exchanged anniversary gifts. Diamond earrings for her, vintage Swiss watch for him. Dinner was prepared, but never eaten. At some point after the guests left, a confrontation began. Neighbors heard shouting, fear, anger. Investigators believe James confronted Nicole about her past, leading to a violent emotional breakdown. There were no weapons, just hands. The manhunt. James's phone last pinged near Highway 35 north of Austin. Searches on his computer showed flights and car rentals. By noon the next day, police issued a statewide warrant for murder. Airports, highways, and border crossings were alerted. The house on Barber Lane was sealed, and the community was left in shock. Who were Nicole and James? Nicole was born in Houston in 1982, brilliant, determined, and passionate about technology. She built her career from the ground up. James was raised in a conservative Texas household, a leader, athlete, and businessman. They met at a university event in 2002, married in 2004, built a life together. But beneath the surface of 22 years of love, there was one truth James could not accept. Was this a crime of hatred, or a man who could not face reality? As detectives continued digging into their past, one thing became clear. A marriage that looked perfect from the outside was built on a secret that ultimately cost one woman her life.
The forensic examination revealed chilling details about Nicole Williams' final moments. Medical examiner Patricia Brown concluded that the strangulation lasted between 3 and 5 minutes, long enough for the victim to fully realize what was happening and desperately fight for her life. Defensive wounds on Nicole's hands confirmed that she resisted fiercely. Particles of the attacker's skin were found beneath her fingernails, silent evidence of a violent struggle. Multiple bruises across her body indicated that the assault did not happen instantly, but followed an intense physical confrontation. Analysis of Nicole's stomach contents showed that her last meal had been eaten approximately 3 to 4 hours before death, aligning with the timeline of the festive dinner she and James had hosted that evening. Toxicology reports revealed alcohol in her bloodstream, equivalent to 2 or 3 glasses of champagne. Based on all findings, experts determined that Nicole died sometime between midnight and 2 a.m. on May 26th. This time frame matched the neighbor's testimony, who reported hearing a heated argument late at night, as well as the time James' car was seen leaving the area. No signs of sexual assault were found. Forensic scientist Chung conducted a detailed examination of the couple's bedroom, where the murder took place. Blood stains on the floor revealed where Nicole's body had been lying after death. Blood splatter on the walls told a darker story. Blows to the head against furniture during the strangulation. The bedroom was in disarray. Furniture had been moved and overturned. The bedside table lay on its side. A broken lamp rested on the floor. The bedding had been violently torn from the bed. Palm prints on the dresser suggested that Nicole had desperately tried to grab onto anything she could during the attack. Medical documents found earlier in James' office were scattered across the room. Some pages were torn, others crumpled, clear signs of rage. Investigators concluded that the argument had begun after James discovered documents revealing his wife's past gender transition. James' fingerprints were found everywhere, on the torn papers, door handles, furniture, and most disturbingly, on Nicole's throat and wrists. A particularly high concentration of prints confirmed direct involvement in the strangulation. DNA found under Nicole's fingernails matched James perfectly. Traces of Nicole's blood were also found on the clothes James had been wearing that night. His blood-stained shirt and trousers were discovered in a laundry basket in the bedroom, indicating that he had changed clothes before fleeing the house. In James' home office, detectives found a computer with multiple browser tabs open related to transgender topics and sex reassignment. His search history revealed frantic attempts to understand what he had discovered, followed by searches about punishment for murder in Texas, how to leave the country, and car rentals in neighboring states. It was clear that James was already thinking about escape. Bank records showed that at 2:15 a.m., James withdrew $3,000 from an ATM on the outskirts of Austin. Surveillance footage captured him wearing a hoodie, his face deliberately concealed. Mobile phone data traced his movements north along Highway 35, then toward the Oklahoma border. The last signal was recorded near Waco around 4 a.m. An interstate manhunt was immediately launched. James' photo and vehicle description were distributed to police departments across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Gas stations, motels, and car rental agencies were placed on high alert. A cashier in Waco later recalled a nervous man paying in cash, avoiding eye contact, and purchasing a road map before driving off again. James' sudden disappearance alarmed his family. His mother, Mary Williams, told detectives that her son had not contacted them since the anniversary dinner. Highly unusual, as he normally called every weekend. His father confirmed the family's strict religious background, explaining that James had been raised in conservative Christian traditions that condemned transgender identity. James also failed to appear at work on May 26 without notice. His phone was turned off. Financial analysis showed he had withdrawn nearly $10,000 from multiple ATMs, preparing for a long disappearance. Due to James' background in logistics, investigators believe he deliberately avoided major highways and surveillance systems, choosing lesser-known routes. Psychological profilers described him as acting under extreme stress, impulsive rather than methodical. The murder appeared unplanned, explaining the chaotic escape. On May 28th, the FBI officially joined the case after confirmation that James had crossed state lines. The first major breakthrough came when Oklahoma police found his abandoned Lexus in a shopping center parking lot in Ardmore. The license plates had been removed. Inside the car were clothes, food, and road maps marked toward the Mexican border. CCTV footage showed a hooded man leaving the car and heading toward a nearby bus stop. A bus driver later recalled a nervous passenger who paid in cash. This led investigators to Dallas, a false trail. While police searched the wrong city, James' younger brother Robert was secretly helping him hide. Robert, a mechanic from Tyler, received a desperate call early on May 27th. Without asking questions, he agreed to help. The brothers met at an abandoned gas station, and Robert drove James to a remote hunting cabin in the woods, a forgotten property once owned by their uncle. For 3 days, Robert supplied James with food, clothes, and information about the manhunt. He even gave him a spare phone. The turning point came when a forest ranger noticed smoke near the supposedly abandoned cabin. Fresh tire tracks and trash raised suspicion. Authorities were alerted. At dawn on May 31st, a SWAT team surrounded the cabin. James surrendered without resistance. He looked broken, exhausted, and relieved that it was over. Inside the cabin, detectives found a diary James had written during his time in hiding. In it, he described feelings of betrayal, religious conflict, and emotional collapse. He did not see himself as a criminal, but as a victim of deception. James confessed during interrogation. He admitted discovering Nicole's medical records revealing that she had been born male and transitioned years before they met. Raised in a strict Baptist household, James described transgender identity as incompatible with his beliefs. The argument escalated. He lost control. Psychiatric evaluations confirmed acute stress disorder, deep depression, and religious trauma, but also concluded that James understood his actions. Nicole's medical history later revealed a carefully supervised transition completed decades earlier. By the time she met James, her transformation was complete, legal, and private. The case sparked national outrage. LGBTQ+ activists demanded justice, calling the murder a symbol of transphobic violence. Conservative groups defended James, framing him as a victim of deception. The nation was divided. In court, James was ultimately convicted of second-degree murder. Hate crime charges were rejected due to lack of premeditation. Nicole's family later established a foundation to support transgender youth. The house where the crime occurred was sold, but the impact of the case lingered, reshaping laws, debates, and public conscience across the country. The medical examiner's findings painted a disturbing picture of Nicole Williams' final moments. According to forensic expert Patricia Brown, the strangulation lasted several minutes, long enough for the victim to remain conscious and attempt to defend herself. Injuries on her hands confirmed that she fought back desperately, while skin fragments found beneath her fingernails provided silent proof of close physical contact with her attacker. Her body showed numerous bruises, suggesting that the violence did not begin suddenly, but followed a heated physical confrontation. Examination of stomach contents revealed that Nicole had eaten her last meal approximately 3 to 4 hours before her death, aligning precisely with the dinner she and her husband had hosted earlier that evening. Toxicology tests detected alcohol in her bloodstream, consistent with the consumption of a small amount of champagne. Based on all available evidence, experts concluded that Nicole died sometime between midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning on May 26th. This timeline matched reports from neighbors who recalled hearing a loud argument during the night, as well as surveillance footage showing James Williams' vehicle leaving the area shortly afterward. Investigators found no evidence of sexual assault or additional injuries unrelated to the struggle. A detailed forensic analysis of the bedroom, where the killing occurred, revealed extensive signs of violence. Bloodstains on the floor marked the position where Nicole's body had been left, while splatter patterns on the walls indicated repeated impacts during the assault. Furniture had been shifted and overturned. A bedside table lay on its side, a lamp had shattered, and the bedding was violently torn away from the mattress. Finger impressions on a nearby dresser suggested that Nicole had tried to steady herself or grab onto something during the attack. Papers taken from a medical file discovered earlier in James' office were scattered across the room. Some pages were ripped, others crumpled, supporting investigators' theory that the confrontation began after James discovered documents revealing his wife's gender transition history. James' fingerprints were recovered throughout the bedroom, on furniture, door handles, and the torn documents. Most significantly, a large concentration of his prints was found on Nicole's neck and wrists, confirming his direct involvement in the strangulation. DNA evidence collected from beneath Nicole's fingernails matched James without question. Further investigation revealed traces of Nicole's blood on the clothing James had worn that night. These blood-stained garments were later found in a laundry basket, indicating that he had changed clothes before fleeing the scene. In James' home office, detectives located a computer with multiple internet tabs open related to transgender identity and gender reassignment. His browsing history showed frantic searches attempting to understand what he had discovered about his wife, followed by inquiries about criminal penalties for murder in Texas, methods for leaving the country, and car rentals in nearby states. These searches strongly suggested that James was already planning his escape. Bank records confirmed that at approximately 2:15 a.m., James withdrew several $1,000s from an ATM outside Austin. Security footage showed him wearing a hooded sweatshirt pulled low over his face, clearly attempting to avoid recognition. Mobile phone data tracked his movements north along Interstate 35 before veering toward the Oklahoma border. The final signal from his device was recorded near Waco in the early morning hours. An interstate manhunt was immediately launched. Law enforcement agencies across Texas and neighboring states were alerted, with special focus placed on gas stations, motels, and vehicle rental businesses. In Waco, a gas station cashier recalled a visibly nervous man paying with cash, refusing eye contact, and purchasing a road map before driving away. Concern grew among James' family members. His mother, Mary Williams, told investigators that her son had failed to contact the family following the anniversary dinner, something completely out of character for him. His father later confirmed that James had been raised in a deeply conservative Christian household, where transgender identity was viewed as incompatible with religious teachings. This background helped investigators better understand the emotional trigger behind the crime. James' absence from work the following day further raised suspicion. He had not requested time off, and his phone remained switched off. Financial records showed that he had withdrawn the maximum allowable amounts from multiple ATMs across several cities, totaling nearly $10,000. Clear preparation for prolonged disappearance. Surveillance footage later captured his vehicle stopping at another gas station early that morning. Witnesses described him as exhausted, anxious, and constantly looking over his shoulder. He purchased food, water, and a map of Oklahoma before continuing his journey. Investigators believe James' experience in logistics played a crucial role in his ability to evade capture. Familiar with regional transport routes, he avoided major highways and surveillance-heavy areas, opting instead for lesser-known roads. Psychological profiling suggested that James was acting under extreme emotional stress. Experts concluded the murder was impulsive rather than premeditated, explaining the disorganized nature of his escape. On May 28th, the case escalated when the FBI officially joined the search due to confirmed interstate movement. The first major breakthrough came when Oklahoma police discovered James' abandoned vehicle in a shopping center parking lot in Ardmore. The license plates had been removed, and the keys were left inside. Maps inside the car showed routes marked toward the southern border. Security footage revealed a hooded figure leaving the car and heading toward a nearby bus stop. A bus driver later recalled a passenger matching James' description, leading investigators briefly toward Dallas, a diversion that cost valuable time. Unbeknownst to authorities, James was being sheltered by his younger brother, Robert Williams. After receiving a desperate phone call, Robert agreed to help without asking questions. The brothers met at a deserted location before Robert drove James to a remote hunting cabin once owned by a deceased relative. For several days, Robert supplied his brother with food, clothing, and updates about the investigation, carefully avoiding detection. He even provided James with a spare mobile phone. The hiding place was eventually discovered by chance when a local ranger noticed smoke rising near the supposedly abandoned cabin. Fresh tire tracks and trash confirmed recent human activity. On the morning of May 31st, law enforcement surrounded the cabin. James surrendered peacefully. He appeared physically exhausted and emotionally shattered, offering no resistance and speaking very little as he was taken into custody. Inside the cabin, investigators found a handwritten diary. Its entries revealed James' internal turmoil, his sense of betrayal, his religious conflict, and his inability to reconcile what he had discovered with his beliefs. He described the night of the murder as the most terrifying moment of his life, repeatedly portraying himself as a victim rather than a perpetrator. During interrogation, James confessed. He admitted discovering medical records showing that Nicole had transitioned years before their marriage. Raised in a strict Baptist environment, he said the revelation shattered his understanding of faith, marriage, and identity. He acknowledged losing control during the argument and only realizing the gravity of his actions after it was too late. Psychiatric evaluations later confirmed that James was experiencing acute stress and deep emotional conflict, but remained aware of his actions and their consequences. As the trial unfolded, the case ignited national debate. Activists demanded justice, while conservative groups argued provocation and deception. Ultimately, the jury found James Williams guilty of second-degree murder. Hate crime charges were dismissed due to lack of premeditation. James was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Nicole's death left a lasting impact on her family, her community, and the nation. Her relatives later established a foundation to support transgender youth, ensuring that her legacy would extend beyond tragedy.